Every time.
Is that our weekly greeting? Just, oh my god, who are you?
Who are you? How'd you get in here?
Come on, Dad.
I'll have to mix it up every once in a while. Hello, Internet.
Nope, that's every week too.
Yep. It's okay, Dustin.
We're not
You
very
just
creative.
Like, actually-
workshop it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll workshop it.
You know what? It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to Decisions and Dragon. Oh God, no, this is going right back up. I was like, oh yeah, I'll leave my hair curly today, and then I just saw it, and I was like, no. Welcome. Tonight I want to give a special shout out to Incarnate Mapmaker for reasons.
Okay.
That does not bode well for us.
Go support their Patreon. You get access to a world building map, a battle map maker, a city map maker, and a region map maker. And it's all super intuitive and super easy to use and super awesome. So definitely go give them some love if you are in the map making mood. But who would like to recap? Just kidding, I will, because I've been recapping this whole time. Just remember this.
I mean, one of us can do it.
As we left off, the group of adventurers had made their way back to their caravan after rescuing a mostly turned werewolf, elven werewolf, and his sister. They arrived back at their caravan, and through the magical means of the book that Gilmore had provided, guys had sent an SOS for help, and Gilmore replied by sending on a flying carpet a older priest of the Raven Queen, who was able to perform a ritual at the caravan of remove curse. After rescuing them, and they had kind of gone their separate ways with this priest of the Raven Queen back to Whitestone, you continued onward. A solid week and a half of travel later, you guys were approaching Turst Fields, which is the last major settlement before reaching Western, and it is immediately south of Joran Village. Upon coming up to this village, the captain of the guard and the border patrol had advised all of you that there had been a series of murders. You guys investigated the scene of the murder, found that the murderer had actually been a younger girl, maybe early 20s, who had flown into some sort of a rage and had literally torn her family apart. After encountering a wonderful dwarf who has established himself as a enemy of the Nollards, Emery's Chainhelm had stated that he was going to be running for mayor to alleviate any further catastrophes that seem to be taking place while the current mayor is in power. You guys all you spoke with the one eyewitness named Prima, who was a halfling girl, who had advised that her, along with several other people in the town, had unfortunately picked up a sood addiction. There are rumors that the addiction has become a what's the word for it? Not pandemic, the
Epidemic?
epidemic. Thank you. And even the mayor himself could possibly be succumbing to this addiction. You reconvened and had actually spoken with Auroch Filthear, who was essentially the right-hand man of the mayor and leader of the Dustpaw Knolls, who resided in the town, and had instructed the Tavern of the Locked Cross to offer you all rooms, as you had been assisting with the investigation, and as Thurston was a noble and is afforded such wonderful gifts. You guys encountered some ruffians in the tavern who were definitely fueled by anger and had a thirst for violence and almost threatened to start a bar brawl with one Dermot O'Ferry.
I don't think they almost threatened. They absolutely
They
threatened.
absolutely didn't. You guys had de-escalated the conflict due in part to Wukor, who was the bartender, had asked them to leave. You guys relaxed for the night, and in the middle of the night, well, actually beforehand, Arthea decided to do some detect magic of the building and whatnot, and found that there were some pings coming from a barrel that was behind the bar. Having updated Cadriel, Cad took it upon herself in the middle of the night, as the bar had been closed, to investigate this barrel. Found that it was actually an illusion leading to a door that led to a staircase downward into a open room where there was a little bit of some flickering light in the distance. She couldn't quite get too close, but it definitely seemed like there was somebody down below. To avoid getting caught, she resealed the doorway and made her way back upstairs to the room. And here we are. So, you all awaken the next day or finish your meditation, whatnot, and the day is yours. What would you like to do?
I believe our plan is to get to the mayor and try to talk to him. And I believe that I am the bait/distraction so that the rest of the party can speak to him without the dwarf getting in the way.
Yes, I was gonna go with you to be bait. So that the other three could go talk to him.
And I think we talked about talking to Arik as well, the Knoll, since he's been around here for a while and clearly has his hand on the pulse of whatever has been going on in the town.
All right.
And hopefully we won't get attacked by people when we come downstairs.
The day is still young.
Because
You
that's not
all
ominous.
make your way down the stairs. Sorry, I'm messing with my own audio here.
How dare you mess with your own audio?
Listen.
Did we share, just out of curiosity, what Cadriel found? We didn't, I don't think.
You guys are still in your rooms, so if you wish to have that conversation, by all means.
Can I, there were like 2 rooms or 3?
We have three rooms.
3.
Thurston plus luggage. Thurston plus party luggage. And then
I'll quietly slip down the hall and like knock on each of their doors and tell them to meet me and Arthea in our room so we can tell them what I found the night before. So
You all find yourselves meeting in the small room belonging to Cadriel and Arthea.
Arthea found that there was some magic behind one of the casks in the tavern, and it wasn't at all what it seemed to be. There was a hidden room down there.
Did you go down there?
I did, but I didn't see anything, and there was somebody down there. I don't know who it was. I could see their light flickering on and off, and it looked like it was moving to come back up the stairs, and I thought it best to retreat back, but there's something down there that somebody's hiding.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
I mean, it might not be a bad thing. I mean, doesn't every building usually have like a panic room or something like that?
I'm thinking like a storeroom, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could just be where he keeps the ale.
In a farmhouse?
It was
This place
hidden.
wasn't built to be a tavern.
Hidden behind an illusion?
Maybe people steal his ale.
The barrel opened as if it was a doorway. I don't know. It
I mean, it's
seemed more than a storeroom.
But Arathea is like, no, it's fine. Like, don't people have secret rooms in their house?
Yeah. It's like when you have a house where you have like, you move the right books and all of a sudden there's a secret entrance. This is totally normal.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
I mean, at the very least, someone would have had to, well, I guess maybe Wukor. Someone would have had to put it there. I mean, I
Or
don't
somebody
think that farmhouse
built this place
built.
because it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Which when you were down there, you said it was like you had to turn something or flip something to open up this space. Like it wasn't like
Believe I didn't write that in my notes, but I think I had to pull the cask.
Yeah, you pulled and the cask had turned a little bit, and that's what deactivated the illusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole cask appeared to be an illusion. Hidden in plain sight. I mean, nobody goes back there besides the bartender, and
I'd find it very unbelievable if Wukor doesn't know about it. A bartender would know what's in each cask.
Yeah.
And not being able to access a cask. It'd be interesting
To see if he accesses it?
to see if there's something like... If you ask for that cask specifically, or ask what's in it, what kind of, alcohol.
Try some of that. Try some of that one.
Or what's in that one? I saw you pulled from that one yesterday. I'd like to try something else you have. See what he says.
ask about the different varieties and see if he points it out, perhaps.
Maybe. Or just lies straight to your face about it. See what he says at least.
Maybe we should do that before the afternoon crowd comes in. Or we can sit for drinks tonight and see if he touches it at all.
I feel
Yeah.
like that might be the better idea. I mean, if we're going out today to go talk to people, we should probably do that during sort of normal working hours. Most of the people will be out of the town, I would assume, like out in the fields and such.
Possibly. No, we should go see the mayor first thing.
Yeah, I think that should still be our priority.
Yeah. We'll see if we can see the mayor. It seemed like no one else has seen him for a couple weeks now.
Well, we certainly have the best shot, looking at Thurston. You seem to carry a lot of weight around here.
Thurston is still trying to understand, like, why people were sneaking around last night looking at other people's stuff, why you guys are freaking out about this door. Like, none of this makes sense to him. He's like, why are you being nosy? Every place has a hidden room. I don't understand what the big deal is. But once you address him specifically, or kind of point your attention to him, kind of says, well, I suppose the title does some good.
Yeah. What do you say we get some food and make a visit?
Sure.
All right.
I'd be curious to see what they have for breakfast.
You all make your way down the stairs, and you can see some of the patrons from the previous night, not the troublemakers that you'd seen as you entered. It's still kind of got that somber sort of feel to it, but not as heavy. Now it's just people waking up and still realizing that shit sucks. So you see, maybe 4 patrons at a couple of the tables nearby, sort of nursing off of a wooden plate. It looks to be some slices of potatoes and some scrambled eggs. nothing that exciting. But Wukor sees you all approach and does one of these. Can I get you?
What's for breakfast?
I've got some potatoes, a couple pieces of bacon, some eggs, simple stuff.
Sounds good.
That sounds good.
All right. It's going to be about like 5 silver. I'll go start whipping them up.
Okay.
He
Thurston will throw down the 5 silver.
he makes his way to a back room that's sort of the doorway is next to the bar top, so he lifts the bar top and then disappears behind into the kitchen for a few minutes and comes back out, and he's got 5 plates of food for you. It is not pretty, but it's functional. The potatoes could use a little bit more seasoning, but it's food. Sorry, usually I have some help, but unfortunately my guy didn't wake up on time, so here I am.
Oh, I didn't realize there was somebody else who was here. Does he not work nights?
No. No, he usually works mornings to save me the sleep, but he didn't wake up quite when he should have, so here I am. It's not that big of a deal. He should be here in a couple minutes anyway.
Oh, should we?
Grab a table.
Yeah,
He
by all means.
usually sleep in?
Hmm?
Does he usually sleep in like this?
From time to time. It's been a little difficult to rely on him, but what are you going to do?
He hasn't formed any habits, has he?
No. He's what's the term? He's a lazy asshole. He doesn't go into that stuff. In fact, he's weirdly sober for helping somebody out at a bar. It's kind of throws me off a little bit, but whatever. I don't really question it.
Interesting.
Any other questions about my coworker you guys got?
I've already grabbed a plate and have found a table.
Yeah, I'll go sit next to Faraday.
Yeah, same.
I'm walking while eating potatoes.
They're potatoes. It's a potato slice.
It needs salt.
It needs salt. It needs butter. It needs something. But yeah, you guys finish your breakfast. Now, what is the plan? So I know that you guys were talking about going to talk to the mayor. And at the same time, I think it was Faraday and Thurston were going to try and distract Emery's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'd figure out where he is, though. We assume he's probably at the manor? Because that's where he's staying, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did say that he is being housed as a special guest of the mayor.
Okay.
While he's in town.
Oh, so that's going to be interesting.
Well,
Do you even think he's up yet? He seemed like the type that enjoys a luxurious sleeping in.
Well, if he's going to be a civil servant, perhaps he should get used to waking up earlier.
Oh, that tone. I live for that tone. Well,
I'd love to see you tell him that, Thurston.
Well, where do you guys go? What do you guys do? I know you guys are planning on going to visit the mayor, so are you guys going to just start by visiting his place first?
Do we know where his place is?
yeah, it's up.
Probably the nicest house.
It's the big,
It's
like,
It's like
manor.
a place on the hill.
It matches the image. It's the somewhat sizable manor / castle. It's nothing fancy. But yeah, you can see on the hill in the distance across a small stream that there is a rather sizable manor.
Yeah, I say we just start there.
So do we just and this is to Thurston. Do we just walk up, or do we have to send something ahead?
I mean, traditionally, you would probably want to send word and make sure you schedule your visit, but given the emergency situation, I feel that dropping in a little bit unannounced, while not ideal, is perhaps much more acceptable.
Okay.
You guys make your way through the not really streets, but working in between the buildings, and you can see that people are up and about. They're kind of getting back into the groove of the day-to-day life. You can see, people fighting with their cows to get them moving so the cart can be taken. Like pretty standard farm town goings on around you. As you glance down one road that leads to Shayla's house, you can see that there are several guards that are posted on the front and actually on the perimeter to preserve the site.
Do we see anybody that looks kind of strung out?
Make a perception check.
Uju, actually, I want to keep an eye out for either Emrys or his two cronies, too, while we're walking, just to make sure we don't miss them.
Okay.
21.
21. And then Faraday, go ahead and make a perception check as well. With a 21, you can spot that there are... Well, in your short walk through the streets, you can spot about 3 people who are a little out of it. Not so much that they can't function. Excuse me. But they are a little out there. One of them is moving crates from a cart into what looks to be a smaller house. The other 2 are struggling to get their horse to move, as it move bales of hay from one farmstead to the next.
Can I go up to one of them?
Sure. Let's say you go up to the one who is moving crates. And you see he's a somewhat longer, dark hair, a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, a little gangly, but still surprisingly strong considering what he's carrying back and forth. As you approach, he looks up at you. What do you want?
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get out of the light. This headache is not doing me any favors.
I mean, welcome to the sun. Welcome to the sun. There, the sun shines. Okay, and he just keeps moving shit back and forth. You can see he's a little.
I'm new here. I was just wondering if you.
Yeah, you're with the rich boy, the rich kid, the rich douche, the rich one.
Yes, him.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What do you want?
I'm not feeling well, and you look like somebody who knows the town well. I thought maybe you could tell me where to find something that might help me feel better.
Yeah, I'm. You know what? I'm kind of feeling the same thing right now. So, as much as I'd love to be your guide and offer stuff, I really can't right now. I got a lot of work to do, and he's continuing to move these crates in and out of the house.
To get gold out of my satchel. Is there somebody that would be able to help me?
He looks back and forth a solid 5 times before beckoning you in the house for 2 seconds. You step in, and it's like a small storehouse. It's nothing big or fancy. There's just a couple windows. Listen, I want to help you out, but I'm actually tripping a little bit more than normal right now, and I'm a little thrown because of that. It doesn't do this, so I apologize. Please don't spread the word. I can't right now. I can't. I don't know what's going on.
Where did you get it from?
I've been a regular guy. Okay. He visits town from time to time. He makes rounds in Western. He's kind of well known. He's a good connection. And for I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on.
Is he
All I
here
know is I'm having trouble
today?
keeping straight. Hmm.
Is he here right now?
No. He only stops by for a night and then leaves town. He was here about a week ago.
When do you expect him again?
Well, probably in the next couple days here.
Next time you need something, can you tell him that there's somebody staying at the locked cross that would be interested in his supply?
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. Make a persuasion check. Check. I have not had rum. I've only had a little bit of liqueur. I promise I'm not buzzed.
9.
9.
9.
He responds with, "Yeah, sure, cool. Yeah, I'll pass it along. You got it. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Put the gold in his hand and I'll say, remember to tell him.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. He like whisks it away in like his coin purse. Sure. Yeah, I got you.
I'll go back out to the group and wait till we get a little ways away from them and tell them what I found out.
Okay.
Thurston rolled a 12 for perception. Did he hear himself be called a rich boy douche and his friend agree with it?
She thought it easier not doing H.
You. So he was a little strung out, and couldn't quite control his volume. You don't hear the full sentence, but you definitely hear "boy douche," and then you look and see Cad go.
When she gets back, he just kind of glares at her.
I'm sorry, Thurston. I thought it easier to not engage. It was clear he's not in his right mind. I don't think you're a douche.
Okay, I suppose. I've never spoken to anyone high before, so... Huh.
I do think that...
Oh my god, you're such a little baby.
I think that the problem might be in Western as well as here, though.
I mean, yeah, people do that in Western. I mean, I've heard people do it. I just don't know. I've never actually seen it.
He told me that the supplier only comes here for a night and then stays, then leaves. And he is due back in another couple of days, but does most of his business between here and Western. He also said that the effects this time weren't the same as they usually are.
Well, that's worrisome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any contact your mother to see if maybe she's heard about anything of a similar nature there that's going on here?
I mean, we can try to send a letter ahead, but depending on how long we stay here, we might get there at the same time as the letter. But yeah, if there's someone that can carry a letter to Western, I can ask.
If it would be worth our time, if that's the case. I told him that when the supplier comes back, that maybe he should tell him that there's somebody at the Locked Cross that is interested in his goods.
Well, if we can figure out at least one person that it is, I mean, even if he's not the main person in this drug ring, and he says it like he's never used that phrase before in his life, and it doesn't make, like, it should not come out of his mouth.
I'm still thrown by the sentence. People do that in Western.
Yeah, he's heard about it. The rich boys get together and talk. Like, they've heard about it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we can find out somebody, then we can always tell the mayor of Western as well.
My thought is that they have to get it from somewhere. And the supplier has to get it from somewhere.
But it's the same supplier. It's the one that, whoever it is someone that they've been working with for a while before, it sounds like, from what he said. not as if a new guy.
I think
showed
that he
up.
gets it from the same person. I got the impression that this particular batch is making him feel differently.
I feel like that's a bit worrisome, knowing that the other girl felt different and then went
Indeed.
crazy and ripped people apart.
If the mayor is doing this, we may not find what exactly we expect there.
Or if the mayor's done this.
Then we may find what we found yesterday. I hope that's not the case.
That's what I'm worried about. Is that he...
Well, we won't find it out just standing here talking.
We're not walking?
Dermot's standing in one spot. You guys are like 50 feet ahead.
Well, you said that, we walk a ways a bit and then this conversation starts.
You're good. You're good.
I just figured we kept on walking as we talked.
No, we're standing in a suspicious huddle. This seems way better.
So we just,
I love
pull
it.
off to the side
Like-
of the
The
road.
high school huddle,
Yeah.
before
The
class.
most conspicuous huddle anyone has ever seen ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? With
I
all
mean,
the weird shit happening in this town, I doubt anyone would bat an eye.
Honestly, no, I think
They're
they would
like
bat an eye.
foreigners.
They already hate us.
Those foreigners.
There's an old farmer that
Sure.
just walked by, fucking nobles, and just keeps walking.
That's rude.
No, I don't know why everybody here doesn't seem to like us. What did we do?
No, I mean, like, we're not nobles.
Probably because I made the guard shit his pants yesterday.
Probably.
Also, those other two guys that, like, you sent running.
It's not my fault they were afraid.
Wait, hold on. We need to throw a huge thank you out to a Ginger Wrights for the subscription at Tier 1 for 3 months.
For sub!
Yeah.
Ash?
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ash.
Ash. We love you.
Love you.
Oh. I just caught Sam doing this. Oh.
I'll think about it before I send out my shroud next time.
No, I mean, it was totally appropriate. And they definitely deserved it.
He was being rude to my friend Thurston.
I appreciate it, but maybe next time you should give should be like a signal, a whistle, or something, so we just know to step back, so we don't get caught in it.
Hey, phrase. Like Jenga.
Jenga. Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Word.
Yeah. Yes, we need a safe word.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't like men like that feel that they can treat people as if everyone's below them.
I mean,
I'd like to see what experience in life he ever has, aside from talking down to people and pretending he's better than everybody else.
from what I've seen, that's about it.
I'll tell you to clear the way next time.
Appreciate it.
You guys continue through the town across a small, slightly rickety wooden bridge that leads over this small stream, which clearly has a route up to this manor. There are a few Western shields that are on patrol. Some are posted outside the front gates, who I clearly identify Thurston. Say, hold please. We'll let the mayor know you've arrived. Just give us a few minutes, will you?
Of course. Thank you.
They confer for a moment before one of them sort of makes his way inside, and the small-ish iron gate opens to you to lead to a small lawn. Like, this is not a big grandiose thing. This is more for function and status than anything else. So the small lawn is open to you, and you can see two more shields sort of keeping patrol. and one, as you guys approach, opens the set of two double doors and leads you to this small foyer. You can see Arak Filth Ear actually just making his way down a small set of stairs towards you.
Oh, welcome, Lord Nollard and company. And he gives a bow. I must admit, the timing is a little awkward. Emrys is currently in a meeting with the mayor. I'm sure I can arrange an audience maybe once they've finished their business. Would you care to sit down for tea while the meeting concludes?
That would be lovely. Apologies. We did not give fair warning that we would be stopping by. We simply said sometime today. But do you have any idea how long they're scheduled to be meeting for?
It should only be for a few more minutes. And I had already informed the mayor that you were visiting and sort of trying to assist with the town's predicament. So he's well aware of your presence. It's just a few minutes. I'll have somebody bring tea out right this way. And he sort of hobbles a little bit towards the front room, which has two nicer couches, a few end tables, a small like coffee table, and immediately next to it is the staircase that sort of goes up and then sort of spirals back to the second floor. He disappears into a door that is near the front room, and then within a few minutes, a couple other gnolls actually come out with. It's a little awkward because they're still wearing like tribal wear, and they still have their markings and whatnot for the Duskpaw tribe, but they're carrying this like somewhat fine silver as they're like making their way with small teacups with a big silver pot in the middle, and they place it on the coffee table. Please make yourself at home. The mayor will be with you momentarily.
And then they sort of disappear back into the kitchen.
Thurston,
Oh. No,
is
you
it
guys.
common for gnolls to serve families here?
I can't say I've ever seen that, but it sounds like this town is,
Different?
well, I mean, doing things a little bit differently. Yeah, since, I mean, after the attack, the world has been, in many ways, upheaved. So I suppose anything is possible.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering the same. Is this like, we haven't seen this elsewhere. This doesn't. I don't know how much I know about gnolls. What would I roll to see how much I know about what type of behavior would be expected?
Make a nature check. Because that's what I'm going with.
That's what I would have called.
Because I'm the DM, damn it.
Oh, do you know what the pin here is? It's got two letters right here.
Nature check is not as good as other things. Is a 14.
It's a nature
Fortune?
check song.
Yeah, it's a nature check song.
So, from what you've researched, gnolls are typically very territorial, pack-like, primitive in that they do what they can to survive. They are scavengers. In some instances, you've heard of small packs of gnolls raiding very small settlements or caravans. And this is just sort of in Tal'Dorei as a whole. This is just typically the understood behavior of gnolls. But these specifically, they are not. They're essentially ingratiated in Turstfield society. You know that the I think I mentioned this last session too. The Dustpaw gnolls were actually a big reason that the town survived a particularly harsh winter. And because of that, the mayor at the time was so appreciative that they actually just kept sending them, food, supplies, furs, whatever they would need in thanks, because their town was literally going to freeze if they hadn't shown up to help. So ever since then, and that was about 30 or so years ago, right around the time that, the attack was like really keying in. Or no, it was before that. Anyway, it's been long enough that they've had such a good working relationship with one another that the Dustpaw Gnolls have actually essentially become citizens of Turst Fields. They are treated just the same as any other human or halfling or anybody in the town. Nobody seems to bat an eye. Some of the you've heard rumors that some of the Western nobles or some of the Western military, are a little on edge every time they visit, just because they're gnolls. But it's interesting. It's an interesting anomaly with all the stories that you've heard and read.
Okay. So this is, yeah, I mean, it seems like they just develop this different relationship. I mean, it's been going on for so long. I don't think anyone here questions it.
Interesting.
Couple minutes go by.
Friends like it.
Couple minutes go by. The tea itself is actually pretty decent. It could use a little bit more sweetener. A lot of things in this town, food-wise, just need a little something. They're like for function as opposed to like pleasure, but whatever. Few minutes go by, and you can hear a door open on the second floor, and you can hear some slight conversation as you see Emrace walk down the stairs with a gangly-looking man. He has sort of salt and pepper hair that never seems to want to stay in one place. It's very light and fluffy and kind of annoying. His features are a little sunken. He wears nicer clothes, but it's clear that this is for presentation. It's like a suit that somebody has had since like 15 years ago, and they literally just keep it for occasions like this and don't wear it any other time. But you can tell that the conversation's going well. Emery says, "Well, it's been wonderful talking with you again, and how wonderful to see the young Nollard boy again." And the other man turns and says, Thurston, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you. I've heard some stories from Emery's here, and actually from Arock. You guys have been truly a wonderful blessing on the town with trying to kind of help with our current situation.
Well, absolutely, and I'm sure you've only heard wonderful things. And he kind of eyes Emrace.
Emrace takes that note and just runs with it and says, "Of course, darling." And he puts a hand on the back of the older gentleman. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I do have some business that I must attend to, but I believe dinner would be a good time to reconvene to discuss the arrangement." He says, "Oh, yes, of course. That would be wonderful. Do travel safely." "Of course. I'll just check on some of the townspeople. They might need some confidence boosting." And he starts making his way towards the door, and trailing behind the both of them are two, well, I believe that Faraday called them cronies. One tabaxi and one elf going, oh, and they're just like following after Emery's, not saying anything of consequence, just doting over this dwarven noble.
Cronies.
Yeah.
Crab and Goyle.
Crab and Goyle.
Yeah, do they notice that I'm there?
They're not the most observant fucks around. The elf just powers through right after Emery's, but as the tabaxi is going, he makes eye contact with you and then does the
I just look at him with a raised eyebrow, like, say something, please. But don't say anything.
Pretty much everybody in the room is like, as he is
at this overreaction
out the door, and Arock goes, "Well, it was wonderful to see you," and then he closes the door. The older man his demeanor kind of goes like, "Welcome to Turst Fields. I apologize that your arrival wasn't
the happiest. Would you like to meet me in my study so we can discuss whatever you like?
That'd be lovely. And I'm sure after that meeting you are exhausted. So I appreciate you meeting with us right after.
Arok, and you, no, yes? You have that flask on you? Yes. Yes, of course. And he pulls this small rusted flask out and hands it to the older man. And he goes, my apologies. My name is Nicholas Frost. I am the mayor of Turst Fields. He loosens his tie, uncorks the flask, and takes a nice big pull from whatever liquid is within. Kind of grimaces. Thank you, Arok. Please, follow me.
That
You guys.
painful.
Oh, it's basically like drinking liquid shit. It's not good, but it does the job.
What
Probably better than the
job?
meeting you just had.
Oh, does it like erase your memory of it or something?
If only.
Why do you put up with him if you... He makes it seem like you're old friends.
Well, a lot of nobles tend to do that. They're nice to your face and shitty behind your back. That's how business goes usually. You guys are having this conversation as you're walking up the stairs, and you step through another set of double doors to a nice, sizable little study area. There's a big wooden desk, a few bookshelves along the sides, and a big open window overlooking all of the fields and the small town. It's actually a pretty beautiful view. You can see that some of his papers are a little bit in disarray. Yeah, he's got a few chairs, a small couch, there's a few spots to sit and make yourselves comfortable. He actually sits on his desk. Arok, give me the flask. I'll give it back when I'm done. Plus, he hands the iron flask back to Nicholas. How can I help you?
You okay?
No, but I appreciate the question. No, not after. Well, last night was terrible. It was the heartbreaking cherry on top of a pretty horrible few months. So no, I'm struggling, but I'll soldier on. That's all we can do.
We are sorry
Forgive
for
me
your
if I-
loss. Sorry.
You're fine.
Faraday says, we heard you and the family were close. We're sorry for
Very
your
good.
loss.
Thank you. Yeah, they were essentially like my extended family. He just takes another big shot and then hands it back and says, okay, 3 is good. I'm good with 3. Right. Puts it back in his pocket.
Forgive me. Let's just speak plainly. We don't need.
Please do. I don't do not Emrys, and I love you for that. Please don't make me put on a face. He's loosening his tie even more.
There seems to be a lot going on in this town, and I'm from Western. I feel I should know more. And you said it's been a terrible few months. Some of the villagers we've spoken to have seemed quite on edge, even beyond just the event that happened recently. Can you just provide some more details on that?
Well, you remember the attack. Western took some heavy hits. But, and I don't mean to do the superiority sour grapes. Trust me, it's not the tone I'm going for here. Western's business is Western's business. People flocked to Western's aid when Vox
Machina had done away with the dragon. There was no such flocking to Turst Fields. If you look, and he actually turns and points out several spots where you just see these small scars in the land where dragonfire had just ruined parts of the fields. You can see now from this view that some of the buildings themselves are actually sort of struggling to stay upright. The land itself is still mostly habitable, but there are still very big glaring signs of a dragon attack from several years prior. He says, we've got the Dustpaw, and he red gestures to Arok and gives a nod, who've been kind of keeping us going here, but we lost a lot of people. And with losing people means that we lose production. If we lose production, that means that we lose money. If we lose money, that means that we can't repair the town. Can't repair the town, that's not going to bring more people in, and here we have this vicious cycle.
Sure.
It's a combination of hopelessness. The people are starting to get angry, and I can't necessarily blame them because I've tried reaching out to Whitestone, even though it's forever away. And I've tried reaching out to some nobles in Western. I'll be upfront. I have not reached out to the Nullards just because just based on reputation, I just didn't know if a farmland community was on the priority list. We're struggling, and it doesn't help that people have started turning to substances to try to numb the pain, but all it seems to do is prolong the pain. So, with what happened... Oh, go ahead.
Did you know that there are rumors in town that say you're also afflicted with this epidemic?
You say that, and you actually catch a glimpse of Arok glancing at Nicholas, and you see him kind of heave a sigh. There was a chunk of time that I may have dabbled, but that was a solid month ago, and I've been trying to wean myself off of it. Shayla found out. And there was a fight, and she said she would keep my secret. But I also noticed that her behavior started taking a turn, and I wonder if that was the motivation to try it herself. I don't know. But
can I insight check him?
Sure.
To see if he is being truthful about having stopped.
Sure. Make an insight check.
Ooh. 22.
22. With a 22, you get from him that he is being very genuine with his emotions, talking about it. You get from his body language that the story about the fight with Shayla was true. With him saying he hasn't touched it for about a month, you're getting the idea that that wasn't the entire truth.
He might be rounding.
Could be rounding.
2.5? That's practically a month. 2.5 weeks? Yeah.
Sure, yeah, that's,
Okay.
Did they figure out any more details?
We haven't spoken to the guard again, but we do have some reason to believe that it might be the drugs themselves. I think the phrase used was bad batch, that may have contributed to the situation.
When you mention the bad batch, his face just kind of drops. He just sort of nods, numb. Arok actually moves and does like a sympathetic pat on the shoulder of Nicholas and murmurs something in his ear. And Nicholas nods. You see Nicholas go around to the front of his desk and he opens a drawer and then presses, it takes a few small papers, a small book out, and then presses on the bottom of the drawer, and you can hear the sound of wood being pushed up, and pulls a small bag and hands it to Arok. Arok takes it. I don't want to dispose of it outside. Anybody have any fire gifts they might be able to provide in this one instance? I am no magic user myself.
Suit is typically smoked, correct?
Yes.
I just say, well, if you intend to just burn it, that probably won't end very well for anybody in the room.
Right. Good call.
I hold out my hand and say, we'll make sure it's destroyed.
He comes forward, places it in your hand, and does like the thing where he curls your hand over it and just says, "Please try to keep this a secret."
Sucker. Now I got a bag of bad suit.
A bag of
Now we're
drugs.
really in a party.
Oh,
With
Jesus.
least
Yeah, you did just
drugs.
give the party animal some drugs. Jesus.
I give him a sympathetic smile and say, "Oh, of course." And then turning to both of them, Arok and the mayor, I say, what the town very clearly needs right now, I think, is a leader. And with your obvious distrust and dislike of Emery's, you should be very careful and proactive in making sure that he is not the leader that arises.
Nicholas wipes a tear. Not from your speech. He was emotional before you started talking.
He's sad that his drugs are gone.
And he gives a nod. Make me a persuasion check.
Oh, hell. 11.
11. He acknowledges your words, kind of nods and says, I will see if I can make up some of the ground that I lost.
Hosting a service for the family that was lost would probably be a very good first step. to give the rest of the town some peace, closure, and to see their leader's face.
Yeah, I was weirdly terrified too, but you're right. Should be visible and willing and able to provide assistance to the people of the town that I'm the mayor of.
Is there... Imrys keeps saying when he becomes mayor, is there a scheduled election upcoming, or... I'm not sure how your town handles those policy changes.
Really, it's not a very concrete, organized event. It's from time to time in the past. This was actually established after the Dust Paws became part of the society. If enough people felt that there was time for a change, they would make it known. They would call for a town meeting, and in that town meeting, if enough of the people had felt that they had lost confidence in the way that things were, or if there was some plan that needed to be changed and they felt that it needed to be done right then, that's where they would approach it. And that's when any changes, anything would happen. So it's really up to the people when something like this would happen.
I see. I wonder. You said you've been reaching out to various sources for additional, I assume, investments and funding in the area. Do you have a written investment plan?
I'm not gonna lie. Don't know what one of those is. I grew up a farmer, and I was given this position because people liked working with me, and I've been able to hold it for a good several. Yeah, I don't know anything about that sort of stuff. Any assistance you could provide would be tremendous.
Yes, I think that, one, the town obviously needs further capital, but also it would probably be very helpful to your cause if you do want to keep the control of your town in your hands and not in Imry's. Then if you were able to show that you have been either secured or have been working to actively secure additional funding. So yes, perhaps we can put together a plan. We nobles tend to be finicky like that. We do like to understand where the money is going and that sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, if you could help me out, that'd be fantastic. I agree. I think that's a pretty good first step. And as you guys are talking, you hear a knock on the door. And Arok moves, kind of hobbles over and opens, and you see the captain of the guard. The captain of the guard approaches and says, I'm hello, all of you. Again? Right, you move quickly. Mayor Frost, I do have some information regarding the investigation into Shayla's fall. Would you like me to divulge it here? And Nicholas goes, yeah, just close the door, just so that way we have some privacy. They've been helping out, so they're as pretty much privy to this information as I am. The door closes, and the captain of the guard, his expression is somewhat grave, as he says that we ran some small tests on the Sood that, and he gestures to Cadriel. Or who had discovered the Sood? Was it Cad?
Yeah, it was Cad.
Yeah.
That,
Yes.
And I apologize. You said your name was
Cadriel.
Cadriel. It's a pleasure to meet you. Cadriel had discovered a small bag of Sood on Shayla's body.
It was clear that there was some portion of it that was missing. It's clear that she had used prior to the incident. But after running some small tests, we actually discovered that there is some sort of tampering. We had a alchemist actually come into town on short notice, so we're taking care of the funds regarding that. But he stated that it was tampered with lycanthrope bile, and that might be what caused the incident last night. And Nicholas kind of shakes his head. Wait. What? Somebody spiked it with a dangerous chemical? What? On purpose? I can't make any sort of assumptions, but I can only say that the town is as reliant on the substance as it is. Might need to institute some sort of quarantine for everybody. Nicholas heaves a sigh. Okay. All right. I'm going to go into town with all of you, referring to the captain of the guard, and I will personally let them know that the situation is a little bit more dangerous and people need to seclude themselves. Just until, hopefully, these effects, if other people have taken of the same sood, they need to be resolved so that no further harm comes to any other citizens. Probably going to ruin me.
Mayor
Can I
Frost.
tell him about the 3 that said that they were feeling differently than they normally do that I talked to on the way here? So I'll tell them about that and that they may want to go check that out. Sorry, Sam.
That's okay.
The captain of the guard hears this. Thank you, and then opens the door to speak to a guard who's actually just outside the door. Relays the information. That guard takes off. Go ahead, Sam.
Mayor Frost, I would suggest also, just as Cadriella said, that we've already run into 2 or 3 people, maybe a leniency on anyone turning in any leftover sood they may possess. It would probably... I know, if I ever get in trouble, I never want to fess up to it if there's going to be a punishment.
Perhaps some sort of anonymous drop-off area.
Like a no questions asked. We don't... You might have found it on the side of the road. Who knows where it came from? Just wanted to be a good citizen.
That's a good idea.
You do not want anything of this sort to spread.
It seems like it's recent, right? I mean, not the sood problem. That's older. But the laced sood problem? That's something that just happened. We haven't seen people wolfing out until this last week, basically. Right? There weren't any incidents going back, say 3-4 weeks. Strange deaths.
When you mention sort of the timeline, his brow kind of furrows and he kind of thinks to himself, there were no incidents like this. I just know that the last times that the source had come by, he had said that he had a room at the Locked Cross. And I do know that there was a small attempt at a party of some sort that night. I don't know any specifics. I just know that party, this was about a week ago. A-Rock, do you think that you could work with some of the townspeople to get the word out that we need to collect any Sood? A-Rock says, I've been waiting for something like that for a very long time. I've had contingencies, and he pulls up binders. We've got flyers, and it's like, no, I don't, that's impressive, but let's one step at a time. Can you just get the word out? A-Rock closes the binder. Right on it. And he hobbles out, binder under his hand.
Impressive
Can I just
level
like
of
kind of flag
preparation.
him? Be like, oh, A-Rock,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
do any of your people use Sood?
No. We have frowned upon it since we first discovered its existence in the town. And as much as we try to preach and tell the people that all it does is just cause problems, humans are human. But I think now is the best time. It's a brilliant idea.
And he hobbles off. Nicholas says, I have to sober up from the alcohol that I just took, and then I am also going to be out on the street aiding in this. If there's any other questions you have for me, I'd be happy to answer them now. I know that given the urgency of the situation, I have to kind of get to work here. Is there anything else that you had for me?
I actually have one other question. It may not be relevant, but it's something that's been a small detail that's been bothering me. When we first arrived at Shayla's home, there had been no signs of any theft or anything, but there seemed to be an item missing off of her mantle, about yay big.
How big? I'm sorry.
Was
Yay.
it right? Was it? It was on the corner, right?
Yeah, on the corner of their mantle.
Yeah, that was actually. They had. Okay. Everybody glorifies the Winter's Crest Festival. I can't believe I'm talking about this right now, but we actually choose to overly celebrate All Hallows Eve. And Shayla and her family had taken it upon themselves to plan a big town-wide festival, and had done so well that I had actually special ordered a golden statue of a jack-o'-lantern to sort of honor them for all the work that they did. You said it was missing?
Yes, I didn't know if it. It was one of the first things I noticed in the home when we were there, so I didn't know if it might have had any significance or any pertinence to what had happened.
Right. Yeah, I did manage to speak with a goldsmith as he was passing through town, and I had commissioned a piece from him, and yeah, it was about yay big. It was essentially the base of a tree trunk that sort of wound up, and there was a jack-o'-lantern positioned all. It was quite cute, really. I mean, I was really excited about it. Yeah, they kept it on their mantle.
I see. And he just thinks to himself that's hoping for perhaps more, hoping that might lead somewhere, but it doesn't seem like it does.
Well, pardon me for speak plainly. This fucking alcohol is kicking my ass. It doesn't make sense that would go missing unless there was somebody there, right?
I mean, it's a pretty valuable object, and I know of nobody in the town was really present for a rather. We understand each other's struggles, right? We're essentially one big family. We understand that, we have to work together to continue forward, and if somebody earns something, then that should be respected. Thievery is not something that I've really come across in recent memory at this town.
But the whole town knew of this object.
Yeah, yes, pretty much.
Okay.
Maybe stupid question, but how expensive is Sood?
Well, it actually depends on the color. Sood in its red form, and Sood is it's a downer. It brings you down. But for magic users and sorcerers specifically, they actually get some sort of high, some additional magical high off of it. So red Sood is the cheapest. It's about 30 gold for a small pouch. Blue tends to go for around 75, and I've never even seen or heard of. Well, not I've heard of it. Green is about 150.
What color was the suit that he handed to the knoll?
Red.
He handed it to me.
Oh, to
I've
Dermot.
got it. I opened the bag. What color is it?
It's red.
Okay. So it's the cheap shit. Damn.
Do we know what color was found on Imra?
On Shayla?
Shayla.
Imra was the elf.
You
Right.
know
Too many
that
names.
the Sood that was on Shayla was also red.
How much was the statue worth?
Probably,
I mean, it sounds beautiful.
well, we all tried to chip in what we could, but I think all in all it was about 250 gold.
Okay. I was just thinking maybe if she was using this, or if others were using this, or maybe a group, and they needed to pay for it.
She could have sold it recently for
Or given it
her
to
most
this.
recent stash.
Yeah. I mean, can you do that? Do they take things in trade?
200 gold would buy her quite a few satchels of red Sood.
A solid gold statue. That could probably fetch a few batches. He's saying this as he is taking off his suit jacket and, dressing up in some sort of like regular farmer's clothing. He has a small like divider, and as he finishes talking, he steps back out. He's got a normal jacket on, a regular button-down shirt, and he is getting ready to head back outside. If there's anything else, please let me know. I'm going to be out on the town trying to get this transition to go smoothly. Be safe. If you need anything, I'll instruct the shields that this manor is open to you while this all goes on.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
before you leave, this is your town. It's everybody's town. And it seems to me that you all have been spending all of your gold on this substance when you could be using it to fix your town. Maybe you should encourage the people and yourself to do that.
He just nods, struggles to find words without making himself seem even more sheepish. Thank you. And he starts making his way towards the door. Is there anything else any of you guys wanted to know from the mayor?
No.
Thurston now understands why his mom did not want him to do Sood. Yeah, as a sorcerer. Oh, Oh, that's why my mom didn't want me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Is he also like mentally calculating the amount of money that they possibly spent on Sood over like the last however long?
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be where he's gonna be like, oh my god, that's totally enough to replow your fields and fix it. Oh my gosh, such wasted capital. It's fine.
I have heard you say the word capital more and more playing this character than I've ever heard from you in life.
Fair. That's fair.
We're all going to learn so much about economics from Thursday.
I'm gonna have to start researching more or be able to speak intelligently.
It's okay.
But-
We're also learning that Cujo obviously never did drugs in college.
Nope.
Your mother
so
would be
then-
so proud.
Yeah, well, nah, that's a story for another time.
Not on stream.
We're not
Not
together.
on stream.
Not
We're
recording.
not going to put this out on the
Yeah.
internet. We're good.
While we're recording, yeah.
So did he just leave us in his office?
Pretty much. He
Well,
was like, booking it out.
we follow him out.
I want to look through his desk to see if there's any more of that suit.
I follow him out.
Okay. Cad, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Mm. 11.
Looking through, you pull up in that same drawer and see where the hidden compartment was, and you try it with all the other drawers. Nothing else seems to be hidden that you could see. You could see that there's some, deeds to land. There are papers talking about the inventory of crops that were from a few seasons past. It's a little disorganized, but it's essentially a bunch of records for how productive the town has been in the last few years. Other than that, maybe an occasional small bottle of what was clearly booze at one point that is now completely... Nothing else really of note.
Do the records that talk about the town's crops and success, does it clearly indicate that that they were successful post-attack, but maybe at the onset of the Sood epidemic, that's sort of when it started tapering off, or was it?
Looking at the records, the timeline, so attack, and then things were rough. Things were getting a little bit better, but in combination with the struggles of their newfound reality, then the Sood kicked in, and then it got worse. So it was like, they were at 10, then it was dropped to 7, and now they're down to 5 in terms of how productive they are now.
I will leave the records, but I just...
Do you see what's his name? The asshole. Chainhelm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Imris?
him.
That one?
Is his name anywhere in there? Do you see? Has he had interests in this town before?
Do I see that?
You do find a collection of letters written from Emery's to Nicholas Frost, saying that he has heard wonders of the town, and also knows of the struggles and wishes to come and help in any way that he can. That's like the gist of the 3 letters, and that's if you sift through all the self-congratulatory bullshit that he tends to include with any sort of written document.
Shocking. Shocking.
I know, right? But yeah, you could see that these were spaced out over the course of a couple of months. Timeline-wise, maybe a little bit after the Sood was kicking in.
Thurston, if the town was still having it rough, and I'll once I kind of look through all that, I will put everything back like I found it, and then I'll leave. But I kind of turn to Thurston to say, if the town if the town was starting to pull itself back up before the Sood, forgive me, I don't know much about business, but it seems like that would be the right time for somebody to come in and insert themselves. Is that at all accurate?
I suppose it depends on what the person's end goal is. Are you trying to buy low? Then you would probably want to essentially sabotage. If you were interested in buying land, investing in the town, and they were improving at a rate that you did not want, and thus if you had invested it would have cost you more, and you wanted to invest from the bottom at the low point, then it would make sense to help them go back to that low point or an even lower point. You always want to buy low. You never buy high.
But something as contagious as lycanthrope bile? That seems to be kind of... The drugs I understand. That can even the worst addicts... That's probably not going to spread as badly. But look at what we saw in the forest by Whitestone. That was a matter of moments, and if we hadn't been able to subdue that elf, then any one of us could have gotten bitten, and it would have passed through all of us within a matter of moments. There's no way to control that. That seems to be foolish at best to wipe out an entire town like that.
I mean, who's to say if there is, again, checking my bias at the door, but if there was a deliberate attempt to sabotage the town in order to create an opening to be the savior, then it depends on how well that person thought out their plan. The tools that they're using to sabotage the town, in this case, Sood, are they controlling the supply, or are they just hiring someone to supply? And that person, that supplier, can do whatever they want. And there's a lot of factors depending on how much you control the situation, and how much, if you are an arrogant person, how much you just assume will go your way.
That's true, just because if Emery's introduced Sood, or is at least taking advantage of it, it doesn't mean that he's part of tainting that. That could be something entirely different and out of his control. He doesn't seem like the type to want to fix something. A drug problem is one thing, but lycanthropy seems to be something I feel like he would check out of really quickly.
Could it be that he wanted to ensure the town was addicted and worked with someone else who has, the means to do so, add a little something, make people crave it a little more, make the town a little less productive? And the something that was added turned out to be a lot more potent than he was intending.
Is that how it worked? Thurston's like, I don't... Is that how it works? I don't know how drugs work.
Can I just do something for 2 seconds?
Dance, monkeys, dance.
Okay. Okay, wait, this is my poker face. There you go.
Yeah, I was watching. You have no poker face, sir.
More and more. When you start taking those things, I've known people that at first it makes you feel good. And then you take a little more often, because it makes you feel good. And then you need it. And then the more you need it, the more of it you need.
Oh.
And it quickly spirals out of control. The reason I looked in his desk is because I certainly don't believe that the bag that he gave to Dermot is his only one. But I'm not going to toss his house.
No. I mean, I think he's earnest. I think he wants to do right. And I think he wants to do better. But if what you said is true, and it's something that the more you do and the longer you do it, the more difficult it is to break, I wonder if he's struggling to break that habit.
People that get addicted don't start it with the intent. I don't think it makes him a bad person. I think it makes him a sick person. And somebody like Emery's is willing to take advantage in whatever way he can. If people start getting sick and killing themselves, if the town is wiped clear, he can start whatever he wants here. He can be the mayor, he can save everybody, he can be the one that picked the few remaining back up once everything is gone. He's trying to buy low. If he's trying to buy low, like Thurston said, it's going to get lower if this is what's happening.
Tenant farmers would be cheaper than people actually working their own individual fields.
So he could just say there were no people and no gnolls. He could just come in and just take the place, just plunk himself down, and now it's his.
If there's no one to stop him,
and if he has sufficient enough investments in the land, then who's to argue that it is owed to anyone else?
Regardless, we should get back to town.
Yeah. It also makes me really, really concerned that there are clearly people still doing this Sood, recently doing this Sood.
Hence why we should go back to town.
And, yeah. Do any of you know how to, help people who have taken drugs that are bad?
Nope.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Thought all of them were bad.
And
there are good drugs?
Well, I don't think there's okay drugs. I mean, not drugs, but things that can change your reality. But these are bad. These make you kill people.
In my experience, there are ways that you can help purge someone's system, but something like that would be beyond my ability. The best I think we'd be able to do is just protect everyone from each other as much as themselves until the effects work their way out of their system naturally.
True.
And a quarantine is probably the fastest and easiest way to do that without knowing who all are currently affected.
I agree.
So where do you guys go? You guys are heading back to town. Where specifically?
I think going to the Locked Cross seems to be a good chance. Something was up with that. And if the mayor thought that something suspicious was going on there, and Cad, you found something suspicious going on there, we obviously can't break in, but we can at least see, our conversation from this morning.
We can at least spend the afternoon, or some of us can spend the afternoon just being at the bar, or Or just ask. Ask the bartender.
Like, hey, what's behind your secret illusionary bottle?
I wouldn't ask that.
'Cause I don't think he'd react well to that. I mean, he seemed pretty nice. Comparatively to the people who were trying to start a fight. But
Well, if it's just a storeroom, as some of you think it is, then you would have no reason to react poorly.
So why not try and... We should... I assume we're walking as we're
Yeah.
yeah.
doing this. I still think we should just try and catch him. See how he reacts when we ask about the cask in terms of what's inside, what kind of ale. Wanting to try that product.
I wonder, and sorry guys, I think I got distracted while you guys were talking, but I wonder, I can't get it out of my head that Embry's is doing something underhanded here. And while I can't believe that I am saying this, maybe since the mayor said we have essentially free run of the manor, maybe we should do a little investigating in his rooms. And he looks like he's like that. Look me like, I can't believe I just said that out loud. That was supposed to be an inside thought, but I said it out loud.
Don't tell
Like
my
that's
mom.
his face. Yeah, like
Don't
he's
tell my
basically like,
mom.
that's essentially what he's thinking. Oh God, no one ever tell on me for this.
Don't tell him.
You don't have to
Oh.
ask me twice.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I feel like
You still think it's more than him just taking advantage of the situation?
I think it's worth a look.
Yeah, I mean, it could be taking advantage. It could be him planning it. But either way, we should try to know for sure. If he is planning it, then it solves the problem of him suddenly seeming like the hero.
All right. Let's check out Mr. Chainhelm's rooms then.
So I guess we're
Oh,
going
dude.
back to the mayor's.
You guys essentially get like 200 or 250 feet from the gate, and then hear Thurston come up with that plan, and like everyone kind of like skids to a stop, and like, turns. And then after your conversation, you start heading back. The guard is in the middle of closing the gate, and he sees you come back. Oh, did you forget something?
I apologize. Yes, I left something in the mayor's office. Do you mind if we just grab it? I don't want to forget about it. We were talking about in the potential investments, and I want to make sure I bring everything necessary to my mother.
Make a deception check.
All right, who is not gonna fuck me over? I think you're not gonna fuck me over. 24.
Hey.
Nice. Oh, sure. Sir Knowledge. Right this way. He opens the gate, and you guys are back in the manor. There are a couple of gnolls sort of keeping up the place. And you spot more on the lawn that there are a couple of western shields, but in your immediate vicinity, there's nobody really near you. In that front room, there's the set of stairs that leads up to the study, where it also led to another set of double doors at the very far end. On the main floor, there are 4 doors that lead to some other rooms. You can assume one of them is going to be the kitchen. So you saw the gnolls with the tea come from. But where do you guys go?
We went upstairs to his office, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, Rooms are usually upstairs, right?
Bedrooms, usually. And houses, at least.
Thurston, how about you and I stay at the mayor's office in case somebody comes to check. The rest of you can check the other doors. We'll let you know if somebody's coming.
So you guys are exploring the second floor, right?
Yeah, I think we should probably at least check those double doors.
Okay. You guys move upstairs. Faraday and Thurston, are you staying in the office or are you like in the hallway just outside the door?
I'm gonna hang by the door.
Okay.
Like have the door open, but like looks like I'm waiting for Thurston to like
Finish.
hurry the fuck up.
Yeah.
All right. So for the rest of you, as you guys move to the second floor, it does reveal that there's another hall that sort of curves to the left, past the other set of double doors, where there's one more set of double doors. Just picture that this layout makes sense. Okay. But there are two sets of double doors, in addition to the room that you guys had walked into, where it was the mayor's office. To those who are investigating, that's a keyword. I will need an investigation check from you guys who are breaking into people's rooms.
21.
Okay.
15.
12.
With a 12, you, Dermot, I'll say that you go through the first set of double doors first, and you can see that this is very clearly the mayor's bedroom. It's a larger room, a solid 4-post bed. There are some simple pieces of furniture. You looking around, you kind of open some of the drawers and whatnot, and even with the 15, this will be the case as well. You guys are not really seeing a whole lot in the mayor's room itself. It's clear that a lot of his paperwork stuff is ready, and there's nothing really of note in his own bedroom, other than there you see a couple of small like framed portraits on his nightstand. You see like a solid oil lamp. Like it's actually relatively disorganized, but it's still just a bedroom. With a combination of all of your investigation checks, you guys make your way over to the other set of double doors. Walking in, you see a very not quite ostentatious, but close enough room where there is a very lush red carpet, and there is another solid 4-post bed with beautiful like silk sheets, and there are those little curtains that hang from the posts and whatnot, and everything is very pretty. There are several small sculptures. There's some finery. There's some portraits that hang on the wall. It's clear that they've been staying in this room for a while, and it's large enough that you can actually see 2 other small beds off to the side. As you guys kind of look around, you do find a couple of documents that speak to you. Among Emery's things by his bed, I'm going to time it up again. This is bad. You find.
Sorry, do you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, I just heard something.
Was that Spencer?
Yes.
That's that guy.
Aw. It looks so cute.
Oh, buddy.
Sorry, please continue.
You're good. You find a small like ledger, like a little leather bound, almost like a binder that has a couple of letters of importance. One of which is a letter from somebody named L. Widward. The letter L and then Widward. This letter is essentially talking up Turst Fields. talking about how it's a very profitable piece of land. It might be down on its luck right now, but it's a really solid investment opportunity that could use some of Emery's polish. Essentially, it's like a recommendation from a colleague. In addition to this, the 21 got you this. You guys decide, okay, but there are those two lackeys and their things. You look through their things, and you do find another a smaller like pocketbook. And you can see that there is a lock that keeps it shut. This was actually hidden, like thoroughly hidden, amongst the, you can guess, the elves' belongings.
Hey, Arthea, do you detect any magic on this?
I mean, I can try. It takes time, though. I don't know if we want to wait that long. I mean, I can start it, and then if we get notified, it just won't complete.
Can
Can
I
you?
can try and detect magic.
Can you do
Shouldn't
it
take me
in?
too long.
Can you do it in less than 10 minutes?
I spend one action and I cast detect magic.
Nice. You cast detect magic. And you do get a couple of pings in this room. You get that there is a ping coming from one of the trunks where Emery's keeps his clothes. And digging through, you find a small brooch with a red gem. You're getting... one thing I will say about me as a DM, the schools of magic, I still struggle to figure out what does what and whatnot. So that one, just getting a sense of the kind of magic, it just enhances one's charisma.
Okay.
You find a ring, also included with this brooch, that has a evocation school to it. I know that one. And then looking at this pocketbook, you do get a ping of necromantic energy coming from the lock itself.
I relay this information. I believe, if I remember correctly, without looking it up, I believe that anything affecting your ability scores, I think, is abjuration.
Abjuration? Okay.
I think.
I will do my homework before next game.
I could be mistaken. It could
We got
be,
some detect magicers in the group here.
Yeah, it's gonna happen a lot.
It's okay.
It could be abjuration or enchantment.
I feel like there might be some that
yeah,
are.
that you get an enchantment out of that.
Enchantment?
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 Enchantment!
That's such a great game.
Thank you.
Anyways, yeah. So we get enchantment from the brooch, evocation from the ring, which is troubling,
Mhm.
And then necromancy from the lock itself.
Yes.
Which is also mildly troubling.
Well, I was going to try to pick the lock, but I guess that's probably a bad idea.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if it means it's trapped or not, but it probably better safe than sorry.
I've already been shot once in the last month. I'd rather not get cursed by some necromantic magic as well.
Well, I could probably heal you if you get hurt.
As you're having this conversation, you guys do hear the light stomping of footsteps, armored footsteps, and for Thurston and Faraday, you can hear that there is a guard that is making his way up the stairs on a patrol, heading in the general direction down the hall of you guys.
We can clearly hear that, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Their armor is loud. They just are pots and pans.
That's
I mean, as one who has worn full plate armor in a campaign before.
Yeah.
The clank clank.
The clank clank.
You can roll a 0 on your stealth, guys.
Yep. Yep.
What's the plan?
Do you want me to pick the lock?
I will kind of sneak. I won't go like super far down the hall. Like I'll hit that first set of double doors, and I'll just give like a real quick like clear my throat kind of like.
Well, I guess that answers that, unless we want to bring this with us.
She's not
But I don't
subtle,
think we
guys.
should,
Not subtle.
Um,
This one.
With
think
that
we should-
happening, I assume like does the guard probably like turn around and look at her?
Yeah, I rolled a perception, and the guard turns and goes, "Is everything all right?"
Sir, and Thurston will just kind of like peek his head out the door of the mayor's office. My friend is not feeling well. Is there a way that we can perhaps get a cup of tea from, or anything just to help soothe her throat?
Make a deception check. I will say with advantage, purely based on Sam doing.
18.
18. The guard goes, "Sure. I'll let some of the gnolls know. I'll be back in just a few moments." And he kind of
Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
he doesn't power walk, but he walks with purpose back down the stairs. So you guys know you have bought some time for yourselves.
I head back towards the. Just a little tickle. Just a little.
I'm
Sick.
You can't come in today, guys.
I head back towards Thurston.
And the rest of us hear that whole exchange too, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just turn to the other two and say that's, I think that's our cue to leave.
We know it's here. We can always come back.
I try to do my best just to make sure that we put everything back
The way it was.
where it was.
Sounds good. You guys rejoin Thurston and Faraday over by the study. Are you guys leaving, or what are you guys doing? You guys do still have a few moments before that guard does return. So if you guys want to have a short conversation or figure out what your plan is, you do still have some time.
I mean, did you guys find anything? And he says it like in this like really stupid stage whisper.
There's a couple of magical objects. A locked book of some sort that had necromantic magic on it. I didn't try to pick the lock.
Oh.
It seems strange for a noble. Not, present company
It
notwithstanding.
wasn't his though, right? You found it.
It was in the elves' things. I don't know about the other two items.
Well, I've never
I'm
to hide any of my business notes with necromancy.
Yeah, Thurston.
I,
Explain this
Not your
shit.
thing.
Just like that's a bit much. Like none of my fourth quarter earnings are that secret.
You're not sealing your letters with like.
blood magic or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's no.
I actually asked Thurston if he recognizes the family name Woodward. Right? It was Woodward?
Woodward.
Like Squidward.
Squidward?
No.
Squidward?
No, any Squidwards?
Wit. Word.
God damn it.
Now he's got to change his notes.
No,
Sorry.
no, you're good. That's just note to self. When pulling a name out of your ass, don't have it rhyme with any SpongeBob characters.
You have
Or
to,
any
you have to
You
say
just
names
Google-
before you
yeah.
choose them. Let's be
Yeah.
real here.
Yeah.
Do like a Google search and see if anything similar comes up.
Yeah, just like type it into Google and see if Google says, "Did you mean this?" And if it does
That's how-
that, don't use that name.
Yeah, that's how Pervon came about.
Thurston, go ahead and make me a history check with disadvantage.
Oh. Of
Because
course, one was a natty 20.
Yes.
It's still 17, but waste of a natty 20.
the disadvantage was for my Squidward remark.
Probably.
Punishment.
By association, you have disadvantage. You laughed. The Woodward family. God damn it! Now it's
Ruined.
every time I say it now, I'm like, oh god.
Ruined.
The Woodward family is a relatively small noble family residing in Western, but they have connections in Iman as well. Their investments are not so openly pronounced, you have heard rumors that they were investing in arms and armor and in some potion making, but they are relative. Like if there was ever a I don't know, what's the Gulf Mar-a-Lago? If there was ever a Mar-a-Lago that exists in this game world where all nobles go to hang out, the Woodwards actually kind of keep to themselves.
So, like, is their investment that they have lots of offshore banking? Like nobody really
Kind
knows what's
of like
going
that's
on?
the rumor.
Gotcha.
It's on the islands in the ocean. No
Yeah.
taxes.
No
It's on
extradition.
Rumble Cusp. It's a
Yeah.
thing.
It's become a tax-free haven.
God.
Okay. So he says the name, and I'll just kind of respond. Oh. Yeah, they do reside in Western, but I don't think I've actually seen any of them since I was quite young. They don't tend to. I know that they have some investments out there, maybe in Iman, but they don't tend to. I suppose I should say, they don't keep up with the social scene.
They don't go to fucking Gaga concerts. Fuckers.
Yeah, they don't come over for tea like you're supposed to come over for afternoon tea. And they never accept the invite.
Not offended at all, but they don't. The bitches.
So rude. Oh my god.
Apparently, it was an L. Woodward that told Emery's that there was lucrative business opportunities in the tourist fields.
Thurston, you would know the L as Lamar Woodward, who is the head of the family.
Oh, yeah, that must be Lamar. He's the head of the family.
Is he the type that would do business with Emery's chain home?
Suppose business is business. Again, as I said, they don't tend to follow the same social scene, if you would, as the rest of the nobles in Western. I honestly know very little about their investments and things like that. It's always, They certainly don't seem to be hurting for money, but nobody can quite tell where it comes from either.
Hmm.
At this point, you do hear the guard start making his way back up, and he's got he looks awkward. He's in like full armor. He's got his sword at his side, but he's carrying this tray of tea. The Knolls were a little busy, but I figured I'd take it upon myself. I have some tea.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so very generous of you.
Thank-
We do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. No.
She takes a cup.
Is there
Being a little theatrical about it, but
Okay.
is there more than one cup?
There was only one. There was only one mug. There is another teapot like right next to it, so it's clearly got more tea in there. But there was only one mug.
Okay. I just take the tray from the guard and say, thank you very much.
Of course. Well, just let me know if you need anything. I'll be right out here. Just let me know.
Wonderful.
And I kind of give him like a head nod, like, because my hands are now full of the tea tray. So I kind of give him like one of these, like, thank you.
Gotcha. Just like watching Dustin's reaction of.
What am I supposed to do with this shit?
Faraday puts the teacup on the tray.
A little sippy sip.
You know.
All right, you guys are in the study. What's the plan?
I think
I want to
that's
know what's in that book.
I want to talk to some of the Knolls.
oh.
I mean, like, they've lived here the whole time. They were serving us tea. Presumably, they've served Emery's and his people similar, right?
We could go talk to them.
Cujo, question for the DM.
Yes.
The relationship between the Knolls and the other townsfolk, does it seem in any way that Knolls are all just servants? Or does it seem like, oh, in just this particular instance, there are employees of the mayor's estate and they happen to be Knolls?
The vibe that you have had since being in town is definitely not that they are some sort of servant class or anything like that. They're very much a very well-loved portion of the town's citizenship. And going off of the vibe you get from the Knolls in here, none of them seem to... They're not like in like slave garb or have brands or anything like that. They're actually quite happy and content. I mean, when they served you the tea earlier, they're almost happy. Like, yes, we have guests. Yes, please come, stay, relax, So you definitely do not get any sort of feeling that they are like second class or servants of any kind.
Okay, and they're not like mistreated by the guards or
No.
other staff or
If
anything
anything,
like that.
I mean, from a couple of moments kind of walking through town, you've actually seen some of the Knolls like talking it up with some of the guards.
Okay.
You have also noticed that of all of the people that have been so lively with their anger, the Knolls are the least. You rarely see any anger or anything come from them as you guys were making your way through town.
Okay. Yeah, I just say, the thing with the Knolls being the one to work in the kitchens, I think it's just a coincidence. It doesn't seem like there's anything there. They don't seem like to be like second class citizens or anything like that.
No, I mean, like, they work here, right? I mean, they work here. They've worked here for presumably as long as the mayor's been here. They go in and out of all of these rooms. They're probably walking the halls, listening to conversations that are going on in the house, if something is going on among that crew, I would think that they might be the best equipped to pick it up.
We could go ask them. We have to return the tea set anyway.
Tea tray
You have to return their tea tray.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they're in a somewhat awkward position, because if this town goes under, Helm comes in, where are they going to go? Have we seen him interact with the gnolls? Have we seen him?
Not since you've been in town.
Okay. I mean, they have an odd, but it seems like, mutually beneficial relationship here. If that goes away, their entire life will be upended. I mean, not everyone is accepting as this town seems to be.
Then let's go ask. And I pick up the tea tray and... Is there like a
Take the tea
plant?
tray from the-
Are there any plants in the office? In this study?
There is one plant that has seen better days. It's not very well kept, but yeah, there's a plant.
Okay, I pour the teacup and I pour out the teacup into the plant.
The leaves all sprout to life. No.
If I was a druid,
The plant dies immediately.
that's more like it.
You just hear it.
Ran.
As it turns to dust.
Oh. Wait, what was in that tea? Oh God, they were trying to kill me.
Sood tea.
Sood tea. Yeah.
Plant turns into a werewolf.
Roll initiative. Oh God, that'd be scary.
Why am I?
Why?
Why am I this?
It's just very Little Shop of Horrors-esque.
Yes. Yeah, I will, I'll take the tea set and start heading out, looking at Cad and say, if you're gonna go look at that book, do it now. And I will head downstairs. Do we know which door was the kitchen?
Yeah, you guys know it was just one of the doors off the
main
hall.
room. Okay, yeah, and I will head downstairs.
Okay, are you going with Faraday?
I reflexively just follow Faraday.
Okay.
Like, she takes the tea tray from me, and I'm like, and then we're both just walking.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be good at the sneaky sneak, so I will also go to the kitchen.
Okay. Arthea and Cad.
I'll go back and look at the book. Arthea, you don't have to come with me if you don't want to.
Not very good at the creeping.
Well,
Well, meet us down there. And
as you guys step outside, the guard turns. Oh, is there anything else I can provide?
No, the tea was perfect. I was actually gonna go take it downstairs for you.
Oh, perfect. Sure. I mean, I can.
No.
Follow me. It is my job to be the guard anyway. And he starts making his way towards the stairs to kind of lead you guys down.
Okay. Yeah, I would follow.
I'll hang back, kind of still in the office, and just wait till he is out of sight, and then just slip back towards the room.
Okay. I will need a stealth check from Cad.
16.
Okay. You sneak back into the room and find yourself back at that elf's belongings. I'll let the investigation earlier. Obviously, you know where it is. You go and find the book once again. You hold it in your hand. It's maybe that big. Size of your hand.
Okay, I actually have a question. Is check for traps a rogue thing? Because I don't have anything that says that, but I'm just not sure, if I have the proficiency.
I think it's just an investigation check.
Yeah, it's really just an investigation check. If you just sort of make your intent known, I think that's what sort of qualifies what it is that you're looking for specifically. So, yeah, if you want to make me an investigation check.
Okay. 17?
17. You can tell that the way that the lock is constructed, there's no mechanical trap, but you get the feeling, combining that with the information that Dermot had provided you earlier, the only way to that you know of to safely open this lock would be with the key. Anything other would possibly trigger the trap, and whatever is in the thing is going to go off. So it's not so much that it's mechanically trapped. It's more than that.
Okay. Can I kind of, I guess, in the elf's belongings or just somewhere where it looks like their stuff is settled, can I look for a key?
I'll let your investigation check ride. You look through all of the elves' things. You kind of pour through all of his clothes, his other, it's like coin purses. You actually end up finding about 50 gold pieces if you want them. But looking through all of his stuff, you don't find any key.
I know Arthea and Thurston would not approve of me taking the gold, so I won't. Can I do a quick search of the rest of the room really quick to see if maybe they hid the key elsewhere as opposed to in the elves' things?
I would say for this, go ahead and make another investigation check because you're broadening your scope.
Okay. Oh, God. 6.
6. I mean, you look through the kind of... You get in that mode where it's like you saw a thing somewhere and it was in the room, and you keep checking the same 5 spots thinking like, oh no, maybe I didn't look at this angle. Maybe it's there. Like you look through all the stuff and unfortunately there's no key. You even go through Emery's things and you find a nice little diary with some hearts on it, but...
Is it unlocked?
Yes.
Can I read part of it?
Sure. You find some nice saucy gossip that Emery's was lusting after a Goliath gentleman who was in...
Don't judge the difference. No judgments.
Not judging, trying to understand the
Just picturing it.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a Dear Diary. I saw him again today. His smell is so great. Like that sort of... You basically found the diary equivalent to like the stereotypical teenage girl, like in junior year.
Do I see any mention? Like, I'll flip through it, just like, the pages. Do I see any mention of like Thurston or anything like that?
No, you don't see any mention of Thurston or the Nollards.
Aw, you didn't make it.
You do find one interesting message saying that it was essentially a real quick thing. Saying, don't know where this came from. Don't really talk to him very often. But the recommendation is true. This town could prove to be profitable. It doesn't name a specific name in the passage, but it's something that kind of caught your eye.
And I'll put everything back mostly the way I found it, but I want to just do one more quick search to see if I find the pumpkin.
Okay. I'll do a combination of your investigations. Looking around at all of the sculptures and the finery, and even looking through some of the belongings, you do not see any solid gold jack-o'-lantern sculptures.
Okay. I will do, kind of what Dermot did last time, just do my best to make it look like everything is in place, and then I'll exit the room.
Okay. Sounds good. The rest of you guys make your way down the stairs. The guard is being very accommodating. He's almost excited that there's new people around. And he says, I can truly take this into the kitchen.
Oh, no, I've got it. Thank you.
Well, I'll be patrolling if you need anything else. And he, moves away, and you guys make your way into the kitchen, and you find two gnolls. One is stirring this huge pot of some sort of stew, and he has a chef's hat that's a little crooked and a little deflated. His fur is like a soft golden color, kind of similar to Arox, but just a little bit on the duller side, with some brown splotches. And you can see he is intently focused on this pot as he's stirring it. The other one is looks like he's searching through some of the cabinets, trying to gather some spices and other things. He's got a frying pan where he's also cooking up some other veggies that presumably is going to go into the stew. But when you guys all enter, that's the one that looks up.
Oh, hello. How may we be of assistance? Pardon me while I still work.
And he keeps, frying up some more vegetables.
I hold up the tray and just kind of. Where would you like us to put this?
If you the sink right over there. He gestures towards behind him.
I head off to do that, leaving the more charismatic members of our group to talk.
You're the ones who have been looking into the tragedy of last night, yes?
Yes, we are.
We're trying, at least.
We were actually wondering if there's anything you could tell us about the town that would give us any more context as to what's going on. I know that there are some strained relationships that your unique position might give you additional insight that other people might not have been able to or thought to tell us about.
As you finish, the gnoll goes,
I understood the majority of that. I mean no disrespect. Our understanding of common is direct words and phrases. And please don't take offense. You sound a little bit like the dwarf, just weaving tales with words, and it's difficult for us to follow sometimes.
I kind of look down and smile. What's it like living in town?
Oh, it's wonderful. We were traveling, keeping to ourselves mostly, trying to survive the Umbra Hills. But then after some time, and he's saying this as he's collecting all the veggies that are now all cooked up, and he's adding them to that big pot that's continuously stirred by the other gnoll. He's just laser focused on watching this thing. But our leader at the time, before Arok, realized that perhaps there's something to be gained since these people weren't as well off. Also, it helped that a lot of the armored ones weren't around, so we felt that maybe we could be of some assistance without any prejudice or bad feelings from the armored ones. But we've since called this our home, just like the people here do. It's where our heart is.
As he's continuing to cook up some more stuff.
Of course, I mean this under normal circumstances, but do the townsfolk typically get along well with your tribe and with each other? I understand that the mayor and his esteemed guests don't quite see eye to eye on most issues.
The mayor is our closest friend, just as was Shayla's family. The townspeople are very welcoming. The dwarf, It is the nice to your face, but not so much when he
Not your
turns. Mm-mm. We have unfortunately heard some rather disparaging comments. I'm here speaking smaller words. We gnolls don't understand, but I'm going to use disparaging comments in a phrase.
Faraday kind of looks over his shoulder and goes, so he's an asshole.
Yes.
We got that.
Yeah.
We just don't. This place is our home. We love it very much. We want it to be good. But we don't want to speak for all of the town in turning Dwarf away. Dwarf is...
What do you think has been happening recently? I know the mayor said things were bad, and then things got a bit better, and then things started getting bad again, and people started using these drugs, and then now we have people dying.
Other gnolls, mean gnolls, survive as a pack. Must all be focused on surviving as a pack. But then other gnolls want to do the same. Other gnolls want to be bigger than the first gnolls. So they start poisoning water. And first gnolls don't know what's wrong. They struggle. They get sick. They point at pack leader for answers as to why sick. Pack leader don't know. Other gnolls convince first gnolls to join them, but is lower. I don't know Dwarf, but timing. Poisoned water. I think water's poisoned now. And I worry about bigger gnolls.
The water? Like a well water? Or
I
because I think I know what
think
he's saying.
I think he's trying to speak in a metaphor.
I think so too.
Well water or stream. And he just sort of shrugs.
What happens to you in this?
Before he can answer that, I say in Sylvan. Is Sylvan a more comfortable language for you?
Pardon me for a moment.
If you're just looking up a Knoll stat block, then the answer is probably no.
You say this in Sylvan, which is beautiful, flowery. You almost hear like a choir behind you as you speak the language, and then Noel just stares.
No idea what you say.
Never mind.
I'll say at this point, Cad, you've now rejoined the group in the kitchen.
You having a party?
Speak.
We prepared dinner. Want taste?
Finger guns.
Yeah,
It smells lovely, but I think I'm okay. Thank you.
I'll have a taste.
You, the one you've been talking to gestures. You come over to the pot, and he like pokes the one who's been stirring the whole time, and he kind of snaps out of it. They bark a little bit, but then he eventually like meanders away. He feeds you a very small spoon of the stew, and it's a really nice like tomato-based beef stew with a bunch of different veggies in it and nice spices. It's actually really good.
This is a lot better than breakfast.
Where breakfast?
Breakfast at the Locked Cross. It's where we stay.
You see his ears perk and fold back a little.
No like Locked Cross.
Why? I mean, people were kind of mean the first night, so...
Some gnolls don't have homes yet. Stay in Locked Cross. Hear voices at night. Odd sounds at times. When asked about noises, thrown out.
I kind of looked at everybody. I think we know what our next priority is.
Think so?
Be careful in Locked Cross.
We will.
We will.
Try.
Thank you.
Can I have another little bite of the stew?
He's like super excited, like shaking his head up and down. He actually pulls out essentially kind of like a thermosy sort of thing, and he actually scoops some of it in and closes it.
I can take this with me?
Yes, you take.
Thank you.
He smiles with his toothy grin.
I'm just sitting there really happy with my warm thermos.
It's got the smell coming out of it too.
Are you sure you guys don't want any? It's really good.
I'm okay
It's
for now.
good. We
thank
work
you.
really hard.
I have a small taste of it.
It is phenomenal.
This is really good. They should make this more often.
Do you have a recipe?
Paper, words.
Yes.
Could be brain, just remembering.
Hold on. And he goes over to the other gnome again, who's like now laser focused on like cutting the very thinnest slices of carrots. like a machine that's set to 1 out of 10. And you get pushed again. They bark back and forth. They argue in null for a hot second. Almost like an arguing Italian family. Like they just and then they resolve the issue. And the null comes back with a small piece of paper and says, "A recipe." And he holds it out to Dermot.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I take the paper.
The paper is a business card for the mayor.
I do not react. I say thank you. I look at it, see that it's a business card, and I put it in a pocket.
That's fair.
But
Because I'm the polite one. Unlike some people.
What that's supposed to mean?
All right, we're talking
Not
about
naming
that.
any names.
the null just looks around. Below the table, opens a cabinet.
Where's this person?
We should get out of their way.
We should.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We should get back to
Well,
the tavern.
thank you for talking to us.
Of course. You friends of Nair. You friends of Arok. You friends of ours.
And you friends of ours. And I turn to leave.
That horse just like weirded me out so bad.
It was perfectly timed.
Wait, was that a horse? I thought that was the dog.
No,
You
it was a
friends of
horse.
Arok, you friends of ours, and then he just punches a horse.
It's their culture, it's their way. We don't ask questions about it.
Fine.
It's their way.
I mean,
This is not the way.
you know what?
Their way.
We have seen non-null things do far worse in the last 2 weeks.
Not wrong.
The
Alright, we're
Dominions have
gonna.
been dealing with a lot of shit the last 2 weeks.
Uh-huh. Alright, we're heading back.
Maybe we should ask the guards. Guards see things. Maybe we should ask them if they've noticed what Emrys is getting up to when
I
he
think
thinks
we
they're
have
not
a pretty
looking.
I think we have a pretty good idea of what Emrys is getting up to when the guards aren't looking.
Yes, he's lusting after a barbarian.
And you just see Thurston just look at
The
you.
whole group just kind of stops.
Some juicy
I'm sorry,
gossip
what?
here.
I might have found his diary, and he doesn't keep it locked, unlike the elf in their book.
That seems like an oversight.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
He reminds me of some of my sister's friends. Stupid.
Thurston is like trying to figure out, okay, like who in Western is a Goliath?
Did I come across the name of the Goliath? He didn't. There wasn't a name. But maybe
You did get one descriptor, and that is that he had a beard.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
Said he had a beard. So I guess that's a dwarf thing. I don't know.
It's a Goliath thing, though.
It's not a Goliath thing.
Yeah. I got that far in Critical Role, motherfuckers.
I'm sorry, I was still talking in character.
Oh, sorry.
What is Critical Role?
I know exactly who the dungeon master is referring to.
This confuses me. I have to go punch this horse again.
Alright, so we're leaving?
We're leaving. I think
Yes, we should go and check out the locked cross.
And check on the
And as
town.
we're walking, I'll relay to Thurston all of the juicy gossip about what he wrote about the barbarian in his diary. He seemed to like his smell and how tall he was and the color of his skin and that it's a nice shade of blue or something like that. And I don't know. It was very reminiscent of my sister's diary when she was about 10.
To each their own. And then Thurston does the same thing that I did. Trying to figure it out.
Anyway, use that as you will. I just thought you might like to know.
Now, who was it that actually found the secret room in the tavern?
Arthea identified the
yeah.
magic, and then Cad had opened the door.
Okay. So I asked, after those two are done with that little conversation, I just asked Cad to, just rehash what they know about the room and about the door specifically. Like, is the cask supposed to be just an illusion? Is it a disguised door? Like, what's going on? What do we know about it?
know, right? I mean, you turned the
The
nozzle thing,
siphon, yeah. I
Yeah.
turned it and it,
then something opened. It wasn't like the cask became a door.
Correct.
yeah, it kind of,
Unzipped.
So the cask is a door.
yeah,
Sort of.
yes.
Or it like maybe it's the key to a door.
And the stairwell,
Cad, from what you saw when you had turned the tap, that was where you saw the rune or the line of magic sort of reveal where the seam of the door was, and then you were able to push it open. And then when you returned it and then turned the tap back, the same situation, it removed the seam. So it basically removed any evidence that there was a door.
I think the tap is the magical key. When I turned it, there was a light that went all around it and revealed the door. When I closed it again, it did the same thing and made it disappear, but it was somewhat far underground, and I got to... It wasn't like a cave or anything. It was like a proper room. And I didn't see much, and I didn't get very far before It was like somebody was holding a light and coming back down the hall. Like I said, I thought it best that I didn't get caught down there. There was already some tense moments with Dermot in the bar, like he said, so. But it went further down than I ventured into, certainly.
All right. Well, do we want to just inquire what kind of ale's in the tap and just see how he reacts at first, and then tonight when the place is empty, we'll go down there and check it out?
I think that's best.
All right. Let's do that then.
All right.
What was the plan? I'm sorry.
Joseph!
I believe we decided that you were going to give us a pet dragon.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, and
And
3
a magic
levels.
And a
Cool.
magic carpet.
Got
Yeah.
it. Cool. Now that we've funneled through the bullshit.
We go back to the Locked Cross and buy the bar for free.
No, we're gonna go back to the Locked Cross.
That
And-
eyebrow.
We are going to kind of talk to, we're gonna talk to, Wuko. How do you pronounce it?
Wukor.
Wukor. And kind of like feign wanting to try the cask that we know is fake. Like, oh, well, you poured from that one. Can we have what's in the other one? And kind of gauge his reaction, and then based on that, possibly try and sneak in tonight.
Sounds good.
I want to go when we get back. I want to go upstairs, so that I can ritual cast detect magic. There was a ping that came off of Wukor the previous night as well,
Mhm.
and I'd want to ritual cast upstairs and then come back downstairs once it's going, and then join everyone and see if I get that same ping and can get a better read on what it's coming off of him as like a person.
Sure.
Or
Okay.
something on him, because I
Cool.
think I was too far away last time.
Okay. You guys make your way back to the town, and you are seeing lots of Western shields on the streets. You spot Nicholas at one point. They're all trying to talk to the people, let them know the situation. You see that there is one guard that has a small bag filled with some sort of substance. You're not quite sure what, but a lot of Western shields on the streets right now. Some people are taking to it well. The gnolls are all about it. They're, if anything, they're like offering to help in the initiative to get rid of the Sood. Some other people are reacting a little bit violently. So it's a weird, kind of a creepy vibe that you're getting.
with everything going on. You go ahead.
When you say some people are reacting violently, are like fights breaking out? Are there arrests
No.
being made, or is there just
Resistance.
bitch ass?
There's just resistance. It's nothing like crazy, like battles or anything.
No, trying to maul them with their bare hands.
Right. It's more like people are thrown by this and are resisting just based on like,
Just
you
on
know,
principle.
what I do in my home is of no business of yours sort of approach. So it's just causing verbal confrontations.
Okay.
But you guys do make it to the locked cross, and you can see that there are 3 patrons, 2 of which look familiar from the night before.
In a bad way.
In a bad way.
Dermot, did you tell us about that little encounter? Did you tell me about that little encounter and the ultimatum?
I thought we were there.
No.
No, I was by
Yeah,
my
after we went to bed.
time. I probably would have mentioned it to Faraday,
Okay.
but unless it like came up in conversation, I probably wouldn't have told anybody else. Just a weird experience. People usually like me.
Right, you're just like, Faraday, I don't understand why they didn't want to be my friends.
Not even that. It was like, wow, these people were huge assholes for absolutely no reason. Weird.
You can see that Wukor is behind the bar, along with a younger looking tiefling gentleman, red-skinned, gold-eyed, wearing similar like farmer's clothing pretty much, and it's hence in the room, not because those douchebags are causing any sort of ruckus or anything, but it's a weird vibe that you're getting for kind of spilling into the bar from the streets. But Wukor spots you on and says, "Oh, welcome back. Did you guys need anything?"
Sure. 5 tankards of ale.
You got it. It's gonna be about another 5 silver. And he sort of looks over to the tiefling and just stares, and the tiefling's like, "Oh," and then and actually starts pulling the ale. Not pulling from the one that you guys have your eyes on.
I wait until he's like 2 or 3 in, and I say to the tiefling, I was curious. Do you have a different spirit or a different? Dermot wouldn't use the word vintage, but do you have something different in that other cask? I'd be interested to try any other brands, flavors, whatever the proper term would be in this situation.
He says, yeah, no, this is a saffron horn. Just give me a second. And quick note, and I feel like I should have mentioned this before. Activating the thing with your investigation check that you had made. You're looking at the spit, you turned it didn't seem to do a whole lot. To pull liquid out, and there were a couple drops that came out. When you were investigating it, the whole spit had turned. Okay? So just, again, I'm very sorry about these crucial details that slip my mind. I love you. Please understand I'm not gaming the game. You guys are so close to unraveling everything. But he says, yeah, we got saffron horn. Just give me a second. We got stuff in here, Wukor? No, we gotta refill it.
Can I roll an insight check?
Sure.
I'm sitting at the I take a seat at probably what is now our regular table, even though we've only been here
definitely
24 hours.
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check. Anybody who wants to do it.
Oh, there we go.
3.
Site.
Yeah, it's empty. The guy says it's empty.
It's empty.
I believe him.
18.
Birdie's sitting there, man, this sucks. Well, there goes that idea.
There goes that idea. Now I don't know what the fuck to do.
That is a filthy 20.
Ooh, dirty 20.
So filthy.
It's a
Nasty.
dirty 20.
20 is nasty.
That's nasty.
I'm sorry. Now in my head, a dirty 20 will now be called a Miss Jackson. Thank you, Janet Jackson.
That's so good.
See, okay, small
Oh, shit.
caveat. I'm
Oh,
getting
God.
emotes made for the channel.
Oh no.
And I was thinking of doing like a nat 1, a nat 20, but now I need a little D20 that's just like, shit, what's
It's
it?
got like
Was
dirt
that
and
Peanuts?
glitter on it.
Was that Peanuts character? That has like
Pigpen?
the Pigpen, where it's got like a little clouded like dirt dust
Yes.
and little smell lines.
Oh,
No,
my God.
I think calling it a Miss Jackson is the best. That's wonderful.
Jesus Christ. With your collective insight, Faraday, you are 100% like, oh, it's just fucking empty. Well,
The
this
fuck.
fucking sucks.
Now what?
Cad, you pick up this hint of like, why are you asking? From him when he responds. Dermot, with your disgustingly dirty 20,
My gross 20.
you see this ever so slight, like, micro expression
Mhm.
of frustration. Like, and you could tell it was supposed to be like buried, but
I see
almost
him like
just like-
glance up at me for
yeah,
a moment.
just very very slight glance of frustration that you're drawing attention to this thing.
Mm-hmm. I just say, well, that's a shame. Whatever you're pouring, I'm sure is fine.
Oh, okay.
It was what we were drinking last night, correct?
Yes.
More than fine.
Pulls 5 tankards of ale, places them all on the bar top. Arathea. I'll say that around this time, after maybe get a couple drinks and you step upstairs, you do
I'll
your
leave my
detect
thermos
magic.
up there. Feel like I shouldn't maybe carry around a thermos of really good smelling stuff in somebody else's bar.
You're like marking the chalk lines for detect magic around you, taking a drink of the thermos while you do so.
Oh yeah, no, sitting on the floor with it and kind of just like, like lean forward and like do a circle and then like take a sip and then go back. One point I have to start over because I just got a bunch of like stew on the circle and now it's like rubbed out.
There's like a teeny little piece of beef that just like right on the chalk line.
We have been eating rations for the last week.
That's true, honestly.
And then we came here and we had like basically boiled potatoes. So
Yeah.
this stew tastes like the finest thing ever.
Boiled potatoes and scorn.
Yeah,
That was
But yes,
That's the only seasoning that they had available.
Eventually I finished both the stew and the circle. Takes like 15 minutes.
I also really appreciate that there have been several points that I've made Sam do this.
Yeah, it's partially the normal temple rubbing, my god, and the fact that I have like an eyelash the size of like Texas in my eye.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it won't come out. It's
Stop
fine.
doing that.
It's fine.
Stop it.
You cast the spell, and you get the 2 similar pings.
Coming back down the stairs with your thermos. If you bring your thermos, it's entirely up
Oh
to you.
no, it's empty now. I'll leave it upstairs.
Sounds good. You
Smell like soup in there.
you rejoin your compatriots at the bar, and as Wukor is kind of cleaning up around the bar, the ping that you're getting is from something in his pocket. You can't quite see what it is, but you're still getting that evocation vibe from it.
Okay. So it's not him, but something he carries.
Correct.
Good to know. We have ale?
Avail.
You do have ale.
Sweet.
So, in the interest of time, you said you guys were gonna kind of hang around and then wait till night.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You guys kind of hang around the bar, with stuff kind of going on outside. The people who are here essentially are like not going anywhere. You guys kind of keep hanging out, try to kind of collect and consolidate all the information that you have on the situation. And then when night falls, are you guys waiting until after the bar closes?
Yeah,
Kind of
that's
similar to what Cad did?
probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume that we're probably gonna either like get kicked upstairs or something like that, because we've already paid for a few nights.
Yeah. At some point, Wukor will just say, like, all right, I'm going to start closing up shop here, so.
Then yeah, at that point, I'll suggest that we all just go upstairs, get a good night's rest, and hopefully tomorrow will be a better day.
Sounds good. It is worth noting that the two patrons that you guys recognized as being the rambunctious fucks from the night before haven't really interacted with you at all. You guys
Big
return to your
men
room.
pick on a satyr when he's all by himself, but not when he's got his 4 friends around him. Bunch of punk bitches.
Yeah, Faraday makes it a point to wait for Dermot to go up the stairs first. Like, not like obviously watching those two guys, but like making sure that she is between him and them pretty much the entire time.
Okay. As night has fallen, the bar is closed. I'll need everybody to make a perception check.
Oh, which one of you is going to betray me next? You are. Good job.
18.
Ugh.
17.
12.
21 for Thurston.
12 for me as well.
The 21.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys are kind of waiting for the opportunity, you're trying to essentially gauge if you hear anything in the halls, anything like that, to signify that people are still awake. It's silent until you hear the lightest of creaks from the front door, and then you creep to like the balcony where you can sort of spy, and you can see a small figure, hooded and cloaked, making their way behind the bar, where they turn, they tap, wait for the scene to reveal itself. They step inside, the door closes, the tap automatically resets itself, and the seam is disguised once again.
Am I the only one that's like in the hallway? Like, were we all in the hallway just kind of like waiting, or am I the only one in the hallway right now?
I think like you guys were all in the hallway essentially waiting for your moment, and then you had caught that sight because it's essentially pitch black down there, but you were able to catch a glint and kind of hear this very quiet movement.
Thushan will kind of just turn to the group, and again, it's slightly a stage whisper because he doesn't know what he's doing, but he goes, "Someone just went into the room."
Wookor goes, "What?"
He's trying.
Yeah, true.
He's doing his best.
So what you guys doing? You guys still going down?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we waited up all night for this.
Okay.
Let's make it happen.
You guys, I will need everybody to make a stealth check.
I'm throwing up mage armor before we go.
Yep, I figured that was gonna be a
Yes.
thing.
I will. All right.
The magic users have to take 10 steps back and go put on their clothes.
Before we leave, I'm going to give Thurston, Faraday, and I can never remember Tina's character's name. I am going to just spend a couple moments giving you guys a pep talk, and the three of you are going to get a bardic inspiration.
It's Arathea, by the way.
Arathea.
And I apologize. D6 is the die type?
D6, because we are level low.
We are
Yes,
level.
fair.
low.
Fair,
Pedro,
fair.
You know what?
Thank you.
D4, because Dustin forgot Tina's character.
So yes, use it anytime within the next 10 minutes for a skill or ability check, or an attack roll, or saving throw.
And I will stop Cadriel before she goes down and take a moment, give her just a sort of a pat on the shoulder. And since I assume she's going to be at least leading us through, wish her good luck and cast Gift of Alacrity and give her
Nice.
an extra D8 on initiative
Nice.
for the next 8 hours.
Excellent. Oh shit.
Nice.
Good shit.
Can I even have a D8 out?
You need dice.
Can I use
that-
D8s on a rogue?
You don't need dice that go that high.
All right, so what do we got for stealth?
Oh,
I rolled a 14.
17.
Okay.
no.
12.
We have some bardic
Okay.
inspiration.
Actually, I rolled shit on stealth, but my stealth is a +6,
18.
so
18. Damn. Okay.
I got another gross 20.
Another Miss Jackson.
Another Miss Jackson. I got a big 10.
Okay.
That's so good.
We'll say collectively, you guys do manage to sneak down the stairs. At one point, one of you makes a little bit too much noise, and the rest of you kind of turning, kind of like quickly correct and advise on how to walk quietly.
I know how
It
to
was
walk.
Thursday, let's be honest. But you do.
There was a peanut on the floor.
You make your way behind the bar to the keg. Turn it. The line appears. The door slowly opens. Looking down, who's in front?
I'll go in front.
Now, the staircase is about 10 feet wide, so two people could feasibly walk side by side down this. But you do similarly see the flickering flame like torchlight. Whoever is in front, so Cad, and then if anybody else, Faraday, go ahead and make a perception check.
And I am right behind Faraday.
9.
17.
With a 9, you can hear some conversation happening down below, but you can't quite make out words. You just know that one of the voices is higher than the other.
Okay.
With a 17, you hear Wookor speaking to what sounds like a little girl. they are talking about the pieces of the conversation you pick up. Wukor goes, sooner we can get him out of town, the better. Just focus on your plan, and we'll get through this. The little girl voice goes, okay, but like, when do I start making money? And the conversation kind of like pauses from there as they kind of go back and forth. Just, it's clear that this girl is trying to she's trying to earn something. She feels she's done enough work. She should have earned something by now. And
Do I
Wukor is
recognize?
advising-
Do I recognize the little girl voice? Little girl voice.
Actually, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you do not recognize the voice.
Would I even though like I know it's a higher pitched voice, but would I recognize? I know
Trying
it's
to
hard.
think of like the order of
rolled
events and
garbage.
who did what.
Sam knows who it is. I think.
You know,
I
I
was-
don't think Faraday would.
Okay.
I was more thinking if it was the halfling that shot me.
It is not that halfling. You
Okay.
you got solid speech out of that little bitch, and not the same. This is not the same voice.
Okay.
What do you guys do? You guys are confident that opening the door hasn't alerted them. They're still carrying on a conversation like nothing's wrong.
I'm going to scoot a little closer to see if I can just get a better grip on their conversation.
Yeah, I'll go too.
At this
I
point,
follow Faraday.
Kirsten and I guess we'll bring up the rear.
Yeah, magic users in the back.
did
We
you
just
guys-
wait for everyone else to go through and make sure there's nothing set off.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, let's
Did you guys continue down the stairs? I will need the rest of the party to go ahead and make a perception check. So, Thurston, Dermot, and Arathea.
22.
You said perception.
Yes.
17.
13.
So, you guys are picking up the conversation that this girl is saying, I went out on a limb to make sure this all went off without a hitch. So I better be getting some sort of compensation for all of the work that I just did for you. And Wukor says, well, it wasn't entirely without a hitch because you had to take that goddamn statue. With a 22, you recognize the girl's voice as Prima.
That little bitch.
Mhm.
Is there like a halfling gang or something going on?
It's like a cartel,
Yeah,
man.
here, Joe.
Yeah.
You are painting halflings in a not so favorable light.
They can be
It's a little
evil.
racist.
So what do you guys do? Essentially, this conversation, Wukor ends the conversation with, just shut up and do your work. When the week is out, everything should be in place. And then
What should be in place? I don't say that.
That would be hilarious, though.
Hey, what you guys talking about?
Are we going down the stairs right now, or are we in like the little sort of entry room?
you guys are like a third of the way down the stairs.
Okay.
Not in the vestibule. On the stairs.
Kind of
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. So what's the plan?
People are ruining their own town, I kind of muttered to Faraday.
I think we should tell the mayor.
immediately.
You then hear from a third voice. You hear that?
Fuck.
And you guys look and see a head poke and just look at all of you like on the stairway.
Man,
I just straightened myself up and then just.
Yeah.
remember that inspiration can be used for initiative checks too.
Mhm.
Well-
Initiative checks are ability checks.
The head that pokes into the stairway is one of the douchebags from the night before.
Oh, shocker!
He goes, "Boss, got a bit of a problem." And just as he says that, you hear, and the door behind you slams shut. And then you just hear Wukor go, "All right, may as well come on down." And you hear Prima go, "Wait, what? What's going on? What's happening?"
I'm gonna cast armor back at this on myself.
I keep my hand on the pommel of my sword, but I just like walk down the stairs like back straight, just not even as if I haven't at all been just listening and sneaking. I just like walk straight down there, like if I meant to be down there.
Sounds good. I assume the rest of you follow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll look admirably around the.
Why are
room.
you changing the page, Cujo? I see no need for this.
Oh, it's just so you guys can see, you know.
Oh, just like a visual.
Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, it's nice.
Oh,
Thank
that
you.
is
I
not
made
how
that
I
as
spell
well.
Wood. That is so not how I spelled Wukor's name.
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
Me either.
I'm a
See?
big
Like we were talking about, like, everyone
Actually,
just guesses.
I was pretty close.
Nope.
I dropped the H.
Nope.
Gotcha.
Nope.
You put the K in there?
Did I even write it?
That works, absolutely. Wukor. Wukor.
You guys come down to what looked to be at one point was a storeroom that you can see all sorts of contraband on these shelves. You see very small barrels of gunpowder. You find weapons and armor and grappling hooks, thieves' kits, all sorts of things. On this table over here where Prima is, you can see that there is a decapitated werewolf head. That there's some sort of science experiment, some sort of instruments that are literally pulling this gross, like off-white yellowish liquid from the blood itself and depositing into a small beaker. You can see Prima wearing some rather nice darker leather armor with a couple daggers at her side. She turns and she's glaring daggers
Mhm.
at all of you as you walk in. You do spot that there are 3 other people in the room that were a part of that group of douchebags from the night before. You
Plays
can
the douche
spot
bros.
in the corner that there are 2 large trunks, chests filled with who knows what. And then Wukor stands at this table where you can see all manner of small, like vial holders that have all different kinds of potions and poisons, and there are maps and papers and everything on the table, along with a few small bits of gold. And on the table is a solid gold jack-o'-lantern. And he sort of turns and folds his arms. He's still wearing his tavern look, but looks at you with this steel expression that you have not seen prior to this. And he says, "Well, probably not escaping this room, but curiosity's going to kill the cat, I may as well answer whatever questions you'd like.
Why?
Because we get paid. We get paid before. We get paid after the shift, which will ensure that we get paid more in the future.
Oh.
He pulls up his sleeve, and you see this
The hand and
marking.
Shut up.
No, not this, you fuck.
Like, oh shit, this is way beyond our
You know
level
what?
characters.
Actually, you
Nah.
guys carry on.
And
and
we're just gonna
We're
go.
just gonna go.
Fine.
You see a small symbol, almost like a brand, on his arm, right on his bicep, that looks a little like. Let me describe it as best I can for you. It almost looks like the number 4, but then a line comes down and there's a crescent shape that goes beneath that 4 symbol. Everybody make me a history check.
Oh, there's the shitty roll.
17.
6.
You said history?
Yes.
21.
The dirtiest of 20s for me.
Dermot and Cad, you've heard tales of the Clasp before. Most of the time, they keep to the shadows. In recent memory, the last stories you heard was that they were actually kind of trying to help Iman build itself back up. But that was then, and this is now.
Can I speak to them in Thieves' Cant?
Sure. Don't fucking mention fucking tomatoes, I swear to God.
Kuja, I was gonna tell you that Modern Rogue did a Thieves' Cant episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there is absolutely an online dictionary, and there's a website that directly translates. So I will find that for you.
Thank you. But go ahead and Thieves' Cant.
In Thieves' Cant, just say, why are you doing this? The class, I know that symbol. The class was helping during the Conclave attack.
Sure. He's responding in Thieves' Cant as well. Sure we were. We were a big part of piecing that city back together. And as
Why not?
it afforded us some flexibility with regards to our aims, movements.
Why wouldn't you help this city?
Because this city is about 2 months from imploding on itself. And where we would be happy to let some shitty town waste away, we saw an opportunity for profit.
It doesn't have to be, though.
Hey, I'm not a higher up. I just do what I'm told.
That's the problem with you, isn't it?
What? I get to live, make money, and watch a town get reconstructed into something better and make money while doing that too? I don't know. I'd say that that's a pretty good calling. At that point, he just says that in common.
And I respond in common. I'd say that makes you a pretty vile, despicable human being.
Gotta say, that's one of the nicest things anyone has ever said to me.
Well, I'm sure it is, but
I look at the two. I look at him and say, I have been nothing but polite to you.
You snuck around his bar and went into a room you weren't supposed to go. That's a little rude.
Yeah, seriously. Prima chimes in with, okay, are we really sitting here and talking to the fucking murder victims? Can we just fucking kill them now?
You think we're murder victims?
Need you to calm down, Prima. Ease up. Any other questions before we just get down to business?
Why the
Would you
werewolf?
Oh, that. So that, I got a credit over to Prima. And she goes, "It was my idea. The town was so addicted to Sood that all it really took was contaminating just a few samples. And the werewolf bile did its job for us."
Why would you kill your best friend?
God. Do you know how annoying it was that every single time there was any sort of village gathering, or hey, let's plan a Halloween party. Oh, hey, Prima did all of this work, but no, let's reward Shayla. Let's reward Shayla and her family. Oh, Shayla and her family are going to go visit the mayor. What's Prima and her family doing? Fucking farming. Do you know how annoying that is? How irritating that is?
You're a farmer.
Not
Isn't
anymore.
that what you do?
Not anymore. Fuck this place. I'm getting out of here. That was the arrangement. Wukor approached me with an idea, and I took it and ran with it. So once you guys are dead, I'm out of town.
Your goal was to leave? Why couldn't you have just left?
Because I can't just leave without a solid source of income. The Clasp is going to offer me membership. Do you realize how lucrative that's going to be?
I suppose I don't.
No, it's okay. Pretty sure the horns are taking place of some of where your brain should be, but who's being prejudiced?
You?
I love the thin layer of like
I'm not gonna lie, that
ignorance we
was
have.
Yeah.
Wukor says, "All right, well, if we're all done talking," he reaches for his side and pulls from his pocket a wand. Shall we?
I cast heroism on myself.
Quick note. Any prep that you guys have done, inspiration, spells, mage armor, anything like that, I want you to mark it down right now because that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Hey! 4 fights.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Mm.
But for any of you tuning in, feel free to come by next week where we see what might be a TPK, what could be the conclusion of this story arc. Who knows?
What the fuck, man? Why are you putting that out in the universe?
Why you gotta do me dirty like
Hey,
that?
What the hell?
I've never been a part of, nor have I ever started or had anything to do with a TPK. I'm not saying I'm going for it. I'm just saying it's an option. And if other people also haven't seen it, maybe it could be fun.
Let's not put that out in the universe, please.
No.
I really like my character, though.
I know. I really like my character too. Can we not kill
All these characters. All right, guys. Well,
Kids, whatever. But I really like my character.
I mean, listen up, horns.
Horns.
next stream for myself is tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm going to play.
Hades.
It might be Suikoden, it might not be. I don't know.
Hades.
Hades. It might be Hades. Hades is fun. And then next this upcoming Sunday is another co-op.
Saturday. Well, next Saturday, yes. This Saturday we are doing. I have to look up what time I said I was going to do it. Hold up.
I thought you said like
It's like 10.
11.
10 or 10:30. 10 a.m. Saturday. I'm gonna keep building that Lego treehouse. So build and chill. For a couple hours. It won't be probably as long as the last one. But yeah, and then Sunday we've got Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
And then more Decisions and Dragons.
Hey.
And then Phasmophobia.
Yes! So excited.
And I'll never sleep again.
It'll be
It's
great.
gonna be awful.
That's fine.
It's
It'll be
Snoopy
great.
time. It'll be great.
You'll get so much done, Dustin, if you don't have to worry about sleep. You'll be fine.
It's true.
Oh,
But yeah.
I'm
Alright,
gonna
everybody.
play so much Raft on my own that following week. I didn't tell Sam that I think I was playing Raft yesterday and completely demolished my my raft that I had made and completely rebuilt it from the ground up.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a lot more efficient now.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
Yes.
Be nice to each other. We all love you.
Thank you, Ash,
And
for the sub.
thank you, Ash. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you.
you.
Yes, thank you.
And we will see you guys next time.
Good night,
Bye.
folks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.